What's up, Cardinal fans? Steve Leslie, ysnlive.com. Canfield Cardinal style. Week 2, Coach's Corner, sponsored by Coca's Pizza. They will have the game again this Friday night, ysnlive.com/Canfield. Unfortunately, for those that do not get a ticket, hop on over to Coca's. They'll have it on. You could have a nice meal, enjoy another Canfield win. Joined by head coach, Coach Pavlansky. Coach Pav, thanks for joining us again.
Great to have on. Great to be on again, Steve. I appreciate that. And boy, if it's going to be another win, we better play a lot better than we did a year ago. We got beat 38-0 by these guys. We better play a lot better than we did last week.
All right, we're going to dive into that. But, Coach, the first thing I want to dive in with you, we had Ethan Fletcher on right before you, senior player profile. I'm going to tell you what, Coach, we've done a lot of player profiles, not many better than what Ethan did. And I want to share something with you, Coach, that he said. I asked, we do a little rapid fire, favorite teams, college, pro. And I asked him, and I think you'll appreciate this, what he wants to be remembered for with this 2020 football team as a senior at Canfield. And his answer was amazing. He said, to play every game like it's your last one. And let's be honest, that struck me because we talked a little after. You're in the same boat. You have to take this weekly, daily, because you never know the circumstances, I guess. Talk about that a little bit, but Coach, he was outstanding representing your football team as a senior.
Thank you, Steve. Ethan's a special kid. There's no doubt about that. Been in our program, all the way through from 7th grade up. He's a big-time wrestler for us, 3-year starter in defensive backfield, and then now he's a captain as a senior and playing some quarterback, and then when he's not a quarterback, playing wideout. Last year he won the Cardinal Award at our banquet as being the face of our program, somebody we want to, everybody to be like academically, athletically, socially, representing us outside the school and in the community. And, nobody does it better than Ethan. There's no doubt about that. And he's correct. You need to play every game like it's your last. And unfortunately, he's got a couple examples this summer already, and 2 senior buddies he's played with since the 7th grade. Jackson Chris, we lost to a collarbone break, and then Tony Panunzio, we lost to an ankle break. And their seasons basically are over, which is unfortunate. And then on top of that, you throw in the pandemic, and you're just not too sure if you're going to play next week. So when you're out on that field, you better play like it is going to be your last game.
Well, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm sure you'll see the interview, but Canfield Nation should be proud of that. We're with Coach Pavlansky, Coach's Corner, sponsored by Coca's Pizza, a big-time sponsor of Canfield Athletics. All right, let's dive in. Here's my first question for you. The ball's on the tee. What's going through Coach Pav's mind? Well, we talked about this last week. There was probably a 90% chance that there was no high school football at some point. So what's going through your mind? I asked Ethan that, and he just said it was just an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, for our play, I'm sure it was. For me as a coach, I was just grateful that our kids who have worked so hard got to play in the ball game. And a lot of people don't know this, but last Thursday night, the head coach at Howland called us, Steve Boyle, and said, "Hey, Coach, we have a problem. We've got a kid who's got some symptoms and got tested, and thank goodness Friday morning called back, everything came back negative. If that thing had come back positive, we weren't playing Friday or Thursday evening. I'm sorry. And, we probably would have been out of a game that week. And so that's how close this thing's going to be every week. You don't know if you're going to play until you tee the ball up on that night at 7:00. And I was just grateful for our kids and appreciative of the state allowing us to play the game.
Well, that's good to hear, and you do a great job, and it was a good Canfield win over a good Howland team. Coach, on our end of it, from the YSN standpoint, great turnout by Canfield Nation, hopping on, being able to watch the game on YSN. I know Ethan said he had relatives in PA that were able to watch. That is a good feeling for us when we get great feedback. I know that doesn't play in your mind as a coach while that's going on, but I'm sure maybe throughout this week you got some compliments of some people that unfortunately can't make the game, but were able to watch it on YSN.
Yeah, certainly. We missed those guys. We had a great turnout Friday night for the parents and the families that couldn't make it, and the 15% limitation. But we certainly missed everybody else there. Playing at Bob Dove Field and Cardinal Stadium every evening every Friday night is something special. And when you walk into that place with your team and it's packed and the band's playing, it's a unique situation to be in. We believe we've got something special as far as it's not a football game. We call it an event on a Friday night in Canfield, from the community to the band, the cheerleaders, parents, families. And it was a little bit different last week, but I'm not surprised to hear that you guys did real well with our following.
Okay, so that takes me to my next question. How for you, did you notice the crowd difference? I'm sure you have to.
Yeah, it's certainly walking out. Absolutely. You're walking out, 3 minutes before the game, you look out and it was different. People were socially distanced. They got masks on. Yeah. And again, there's only 15% in the stadium being filled. That was different. Once the game started, no. It was coaching and playing and, correcting mistakes and congratulating the good plays. And, from that standpoint, it was the same.
Well, that's good to hear. With Coach Pavlansky, Coach's Corner, week 2. YSN. We'll have the Canfield game Friday night against Notre Dame-Cathedral Latin. We will get into that, but Cocos is our sponsor, Coach. We're proud of that. Let's dive into last week's game against Howland. We talked last week. You talked about your offensive line was one of your concerns. Obviously, they handled themselves quite well. A slow start again, and you've talked about this with us last week. Another slow start offensively. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I think, in the first quarter, both teams had some nerves and filling each other out. And thank goodness our defense was playing lights out, from the beginning to the end, because offensively we did have a slow start. We fumbled the first snap. Second drive, we got one going from the 1-yard line out to their 30 and just put the ball on the ground. We fumbled. And usually that's not a good situation when you turn the ball over twice in the first 2 series. But our defense, again, played a tremendous ball game. And we got going the first play of the second quarter where sophomore Brock Lowry hit senior Logan Torok on a simple screen pass. Had some great blocking, and Logan was able to take it down the sideline for a touchdown for us to get us going.
Yeah, Brock had a nice game. Ethan obviously had a great game, had the big, long touchdown run, I guess. Talk about those two a little bit. I know you like playing 2 quarterbacks. They're a little different. Ethan talked about that, but that's a nice thing for this Canfield offense to have 2 different options behind the quarterback position.
We've always played 2, and we believe in that system and the fact that if your starter goes down, you better have a backup ready to go. And we like early in the year, we like to get both quarterbacks reps. Now, as the season goes on, if one separates themselves from the other, we'll certainly go with that one. But we've got a second quarterback with reps and game experience. And, Ethan being a starter last year for us has that game experience. Brock came in the second series, did a tremendous job. And they do bring a little bit of different things to the table. Ethan's more of a runner. Brock's more of a thrower, but they both can do the opposite very well also. And, you'll see both quarterbacks here playing Friday night. But if the offensive line doesn't improve and we're not doing the things we need to do up front, it really doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of the things, Coach? I know it's an old cliche that the biggest peak is between week 1 and 2. What are some of the things you want to see this team improve on?
Well, first of all, we got to get off to a better start offensively, without a doubt. We can't be turning the ball over. We lost a turnover battle 3-0 and still won the game because of how well our defense played. And I certainly don't want to say that our offensive line didn't play well. They did. They can play a lot better. That's what they know. We know. We averaged over 11 yards a carry. And you do that, obviously you're moving people around. And the offensive line did a very good job for the first ball game. We expect more. What do we have to improve upon from an offensive standpoint? Is just communication, talking to each other up front. We missed some blocks because there's lack of communication. And then offensively from the past game, we missed a couple audible passes at the line of scrimmage that our quarterbacks called. And, wideouts were on the same page, and we can't have that. From a defensive standpoint, as well as our defense played with this pitching a shutout, and our offense putting them in a bad field position, I don't think we tackled very well. Howland has a couple of really nice backs that run hard, but we felt we should have tackled a lot better than what we did. And certainly, there's room for improvement. That game 1 to game 2 leap is huge for championship teams because the game 1 nerves are out. There's no reason to be nervous in game 2 when you get out there. Just go play football. Yeah,
we're with Coach Pavlansky, Coach's Corner, week 2, sponsored by Coca's Pizza. Then we'll have the game at Coca's Pizza, ysnlive.com/Canfield, 7 o'clock for those fans that don't have a ticket. Coach Pav, you've done this a long time. And my thing is, I noticed it's hard for a player in any sport to adjust on the sidelines. There's a lot of different things going on in the game. So that takes me to your film sessions. How important are films for these kids after getting that first game in to actually see some of their mistakes? It has to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely it is, Steve. And you're exactly right there. The kids, when we talk to them on the practice field, they can hear what we're saying, but sometimes don't believe it until they see it on the film. And then, the more you point the things out they did very well or they did poorly and need to improve upon, and you're telling them what they got to improve upon, they see that on film and they, okay, coach is correct. And, one of the things I think our staff does a tremendous job of, like most staffs, we're allowed to use that sideline huddle now.
Sure.
Guys come off the field and you're sitting underneath the tent right away looking at the previous series and saying, hey, this is a good play here. This is a great job by you. Here, you need to do a little bit better. We need you here rather than where you were at.
Yeah, and you're a football family. Your dad was a great football coach, and we were all brought up that way. The old eye in the sky does not lie when you sit your game night and watch that. But overall, again, a solid performance against a good football team. Win number 1. Now we jump into week 2. Coach, Notre Dame-Cathedral Latin. Ethan talked about it. Let's be honest, they put it on you last year. So Ethan said there's some payback for sure. I'm sure. You did not have to catch the kids' attention coming into this week.
Not at all. Not the upperclassmen that were part of that performance last year. First half, it really truly was a playoff game. In 2017, we were fortunate to beat them in the regional semifinals at Mollenkopf 22-7 and got them on the schedule last year. And we went up there and it was 7-0 with 14 seconds to go in the half. And they had the ball and ran a reverse for a touchdown. And then the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, they scored 24 points starting every drive inside our 30-yard line. Turnovers, special team blunders. It was just a bunch of mistakes on our part, and certainly a good football team like NDCL took advantage of it, and we got embarrassed pretty good. We've been talking about that this week. We've got to hone in on some mental discipline things that if we want to be successful Friday night, we got to certainly clean up.
Well, we'll have that game for you Friday night. Notre Dame-Cathedral Latin visits Bob Dove Stadium at Canfield, ysnlive.com/Canfield. We're with Coach Pav, Coach's Corner, sponsored by Coca's. Coach, that's a solid program. Notre Dame-Cathedral Latin is a playoff team every year. That's a great situation. Tell the Canfield fans some of the things that they can expect from another quality opponent coming in.
Yeah, Andrew Mooney does a tremendous job. And like you said, it's a traditional playoff team. And unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to play last week. Their week 1 opponent chose not to play, and they couldn't find one. So this is going to be their opener, and they'll be excited to come down here and finally play a football game. Defensively, they run a 4-3 and play a lot of man coverage, and they're going to force you to throw the football. And we got to somehow back them off the line of scrimmage if we want to have any success offensively. They returned 2 defensive linemen that caused us all types of problem last year, 2 linebackers that causes all types of problems, and then 2 of their better athletes on the team in the free safety and in the corner, number 10, both juniors, and very well balanced defense as far as when they're picking and choosing when they're going to blitz or not, and every once in a while throw a zone coverage in. From an offensive standpoint, they'll work out of a pistol formation with a quarterback and a tailback right behind them. Sometimes they'll have a tight end, sometimes they won't. They returned 3 offensive linemen from last year, and their tailback, Jack Robinson's a tremendous running back. We had a lot of trouble tackling last year, and a couple wideouts. They got a lot coming back. They didn't have the year they wanted to traditionally have at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. They went 3-7, and so I'm sure they're excited about getting their year started on a good note.
Well, it's going to be a good football game. Canfield Cardinals will entertain Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. We're fortunate enough we'll have it for you on ysnlive.com/Canfield with Coach Pav on Coach's Corner. All right, Coach, keys of victory for win number 2 on Friday night.
You better win the turnover margin. We can't turn it over 3 times and expect to win this football game. Again, our defense played tremendous last week, and we were fortunate to come out with a shutout and on top. That's 1. Number 2, we got to tackle a lot better than what we did last Thursday evening. And, we got to start faster offensively. We can't have a couple turnovers to start the ball game and give them a short porch to go on, because it may just be a little bit different this Friday against probably a little bit better football team. that we're going to face. And, as you know, Steve, special teams is huge. We were fortunate to win a special team battle last week in the hidden yardage. That needs to be done again this week.
Well, there you have it, Canfield fans. Right from Coach Pav on Coach Corner to the keys to the victory. We're proud to be covering the game Friday night. We'll have it for you, ysnlive.com/Canfield. And Coach, one of my last silly questions for Canfield Nation. I've known you a long time, so tell everybody what Coach Pav does for a relaxing evening.
For a relaxing evening
during football season. Is
during
there
football,
or is there any?
Watch college football.
Yeah, well, we should be thankful for some of the college football that we're going to be able to watch for sure. And, I've enjoyed these 2 weeks for you. Good luck to you, the staff, the boys. Let's go get a little revenge on NDCL. Good luck. We'll talk again next week, and we're proud to be a supporter of the Canfield football team.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate everything.
All righty. Have a good night.